Dave Miller, welcome to the podcast.
Well, at least one of our alter egos is back.
Rip's not really here. It's just Halloween. I'm just dressed up like him tonight.
You're dressed up like him. Okay,
Or
because he
or
probably
maybe,
wouldn't approve if you're
yeah. Well, he
you're right
told me
there.
he said that boat carrying some bitch thought he was gonna come and it was a season saving win, Dave.
It
So
was definitely a mid-season saving.
I mean, every week it is so crazy. The standings get jumbled
I
because
know
we're
it is.
so bunched up, so tight. And I don't know. Are you a fan of Primal Fear, the movie? Are
Ooh,
you
that's
familiar
that's
with
going
that?
back. That's going
Yeah,
back. Early
late
Wahlberg.
90s. No, this
No,
is
no. I was
Edward
thinking of.
Norton.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's
And
like,
Richard Gere. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I know
so
that one.
Edward
Yes,
Norton's character, he's got two personas.
yes.
And so like there's sometimes where, Smitty's all weak and, just can't get things done. And so then Rip's got to show up and it's that. And then
So
that's when you find out that I've always been Rip and like that, Smitty never existed.
kind of like Tyler Durden.
Exactly. Yeah. It was always
So
so. Welcome to the
before we
podcast.
get into anything, looking back a few weeks ago, wouldn't you rather right now be me 5-3 and Adam 3-5? Wouldn't you like if you just wouldn't have rooted for him that week?
Well, I thought we talked about this on the podcast last week and you said I had nothing to do with it.
That's true. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just thinking out loud
Still
here,
angry?
thinking, now he's right bunched up with everybody else, you
Well,
know.
let me hold on. Trick or treating, put that on pause. I can't do the show and it's kind of hot.
Yeah.
Go get up. So, but
But yeah, I
the,
mean, but boy, we
are
got
you? I thought
other than
Dave.
Travis,
Hey, by the way, Dave, I love your costume.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed loser to a T. It's perfect.
I did. I'm good at that. This is my a few years ago. I signed up for some online virtual. It was called a virtual Batman run, where they
Oh
sent me
my,
a hat and a shirt and a medal, and you were supposed to do the run on your own. Guess
like
who
this,
never did the run on their own?
some kind of COVID thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Oh
was.
man,
But I
suckers.
got a hat and a shirt, and a
Eh,
medal.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's in that state of our society. You just sign up and you win.
Yeah. Participation that you didn't
Yeah,
even participate in.
I never did do the run, not officially, no. Yeah,
Oh, Dave, we got so much that we can talk about
I
tonight.
know.
My community, Bright, Indiana, they're losing their mind over Halloween. Apparently, there's places that want to move it from Thursday, when
Rain
it
drenched
happens.
Thursday.
Yeah, so they want to move it to Saturday, and you would have thought that they came and took their guns away here in Indiana. Like they're going crazy. And so I lead this Bible study on Wednesday nights, and I was telling them, I was like, my town is literally losing their minds over
Yeah.
this. I said, if you think this is bad, though, just wait till Tuesday's election. Like things are gonna get like, yeah. I mean,
Why don't they move it to Tuesday night?
oh
Next
yeah,
Tuesday.
yeah, yeah. Next Tuesday. Yeah, can't do it to Thursday. How about we
That's
just all go trick or treating
that's
on
where we want a
Thursday,
bunch of
on
people in
Tuesday?
mass going to vote.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, Dave. Well, do you have any words to give out?
I do. I do. And I'm not straying too far from uh from the book on this one because uh High Point winner, kind of a big win for Josh. And on top of that, it kept us from just handing more money over to Flex. Like,
Yeah,
he was all in line to get another High Point win, and I think Josh needed 40 yards or something, and he got 70. It wasn't like he didn't have it right away. It was Giants were doing their job of not doing anything, helping Travis out. But in the end, Ratty pulled off the victory, a strong win for him, gets him to mediocrity with about 10 of the rest of the teams.
Although
And
Josh is high on points scored, like he's got.
So he jumped him all the way up to third.
Yeah.
Whereas a 3 and 5 would have sent him down, even though he's got those points.
Yeah.
Kind of like looking
total.
at you, Andy, sitting there with lots of points and 3 and 5 records. So, but anything, all it takes is a win, and big things happen. But for Josh, 124.1, it was over before. It was probably closer than what you think for Rennie. He had, he didn't really have anything on his bench that would have won. He could have made a decision to make it closer, but had too little, not enough to beat the High Point winner.
Yeah.
So good job, Josh.
And
if you're watching this,
couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Well,
we'll get to that.
Thought. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah.
We will get to that.
Man.
So what about you?
Hillbilly of the week. Tough because this isn't one of those weeks where it just like jumps off the page where somebody did just like a bonehead thing. And we actually didn't have anybody score like super low this week. But I'm going to give it to Brian. You alluded to it in the write-up just a little bit because a win would have been big for Brian. It would have really hurt Junior. And Brian had the points available. And so here, I didn't say anything in chat. I should have said something earlier because I had this thought. Now it seems like it's kind of after the fact. But Brian versus Junior. Junior started more Pittsburgh Steelers than Brian did in this matchup, and that seems impossible because Brian drafted them all.
Exactly.
And the one that would have made the biggest difference in his lineup that would have got him the W, he left on his bench.
Yeah.
So
and that's on top of the guy on his team that he traded to flex that would have also got him a win.
Yeah.
Because he got rid of 2 running backs, or he got rid of a running back and had another one on his bench that, and I mean, in his defense, that Mason kid for 49ers had been I think he was the number 2 in rushing, and he's been doing pretty good, but he was nursing a shoulder injury from last week. He tried to play, got hurt again, and he didn't finish the game. I don't think he finished the half.
Yeah, and I don't know that Dallas's defense isn't what it's been in the past, but I still think that they're better than what their projection has them being. I know they give up a lot of, I don't know. I don't watch enough of their game. Seems like they give up a lot of big play passing yard plays. I don't see teams running all over them, but I could be wrong.
And I mean, that would have been a game plan, knowing that Debo had been kind of hurt and sick and banged up. Yeah. They already lost Ayuk. It's like, and I mean, so you put somebody on Kittle and you shut down the run game and you force Purdy to throw it to somebody else. Yeah. That would have been a good strategy.
But, I mean, those are always tough. But, Junior called it. He said, hopefully Bad Beat Brian lives up to his name. And, that one came down to Monday night. It was our only Monday night decision. So, you got to give it to somebody.
For the time being, it keeps Junior in the playoff hunt. It dropped Brian down to 4th, which he was hovering amongst the leaders. He could have passed Ed probably. Definitely would have passed Ed with 5 wins. So that, I mean, big drop.
Yeah. And so just a few of the other matchups that we had, Red Kingdom just kept on redding against his good buddy Ed. I mean, you said it, the demon has been unleashed. Yeah. Somebody said Beetlejuice 3 times and now here he is. So,
Ed scores 90, 96. He also did not have points on his bench that would have made it closer, but wouldn't have made a difference.
I'll tell you this though. I said it, maybe I said it last week. Cleveland's a different team. I said it in the Bengals game. I said, dude, if Winston was playing the entire game, game goes different.
It does, big time.
And so it was Ed starts Baltimore's D against Cleveland. He gets 1 point out of them. I mean, Baltimore's D had been rolling, and everybody who played against Cleveland before that had been scoring pretty well. I mean,
like
Baltimore's D was okay. They're ranked 23rd, but that normally would have been a good matchup for
they're
them. So
enticing because they're winning, but
yeah,
I don't think I mean, they've
they've
been
only
giving
had
up a
one
lot
big
of
week.
points, I think.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, they're
I think that Ed probably spot played them. I don't know if he's had them on his team
well,
the whole time. I mean,
he might have been thinking, he maybe planned ahead, and
yeah,
he's like, oh yeah, because Cleveland had been pick any
atrocious.
defense. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, when it
32nd
was
offense in the league, I think. I mean,
yeah,
we're
when it
close
was
to it.
Watson, it was like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. And I even, had to, you make some adjustments on planning ahead of like, oh, who's playing Cleveland? Who's playing? Now it's like
Yeah,
I don't really care who's playing Cleveland because I don't want to, because Winston's
yeah.
going to put, and with Chubb,
Adam
yeah,
got
yeah.
big num. Kelsey showed up. He got just enough from Mahomes, and his Robinson has been playing better lately. So I think that's been big for. I mean, 116. That's a great number
Yeah, oh yeah,
for
and he's done
Adam.
it
So
3 weeks in a row. So,
yeah. Flex kept on flexing. What happened
oh
there?
gosh, um, well, I can't. I mean, at 108, I'm not disappointed with the score, but it's one of those. I've been riding with Daniels even when the numbers probably said Love, but I didn't know he was going to play, and I had to start Love before they even decided, and
Yeah.
then lo and behold, which I mean, I drafted Love ahead for a reason because I thought he was going to have a good year, and he's had some decent weeks, so it's not
How's he
like
have a stinker against Jacksonville though?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, because all the points went to Jacobs.
Yeah.
That's why.
So yeah.
The
So
same way that Stroud has bad weeks when all the points go to Mixon.
yeah. Um, so big win for Brennan against Show Me Your TDs. I mean, Lee was in a tough place. He's going to have, I mean, he should have played Rodgers, but that wouldn't have made a big enough
No,
difference. So,
no, he basically it was half and half on whether somebody had enough points on their available to them to win.
yeah,
Me, Brian, and Andy were the three that could have made a decision
yeah.
and won. The other three, it would just made it a little bit closer.
But yeah, I mean, Lee better bounce back quick, and if he's going to, he's got the perfect opponent this week to do it.
That's
So,
true.
all right. Sorry, too soon.
Yep.
Rennie
So yeah,
also needs a bounce back. He's lost 3 in a row. I mean, what happened to Rennie being like at the top of the right behind Travis? Feels like forever ago. Call me Ratty with the big high points win. Man, this has got to be a big week for Burrow, right?
it better be.
Yeah.
It better
And
be.
and man, me and did you stay up and watch the end of
Oh
that
yeah.
game, or was I watching it by myself?
No, I was watching it.
Oh my goodness. There's very few times when you're watching fantasy where just like everything you need to happen happens right in front of you.
Yeah.
Because that game could have been over. They could have not even been trying, but
Yeah.
they just kept throwing the ball. And I don't know
I've never seen.
how does somebody get to Did you hear what
Yeah.
Chris Collinsworth said? He said CeeDee Lamb hasn't been that open since the last time he scored a touchdown.
Yeah. I've never seen a star, like the number one guy you should worry about be that open 2 times like that. It was like who's covering him?
Unbelievable.
That's the old Adam Sandler joke
Yeah.
of what the other guys are saying in the huddle the night Wilt Chamberlain scored 100. Who's covering Wilt? He's hot. Stay on him.
So,
Jeez.
well, as we think about the matchups that we have for this week coming into where we're going, I was kind of looking at mine and I was like, I'm up against Rademacher. And the whole thing is like that everybody just says what a nice guy he is, and I wondered if it was more like I'm a big Tin Cup fan, and so in Tin Cup, Don Johnson's character is kind of like he pretends like he's a nice guy, but then back behind the scenes, Kevin Costner's character and Cheech Rodriguez's character, they kind of know that he's not really that nice, right? He's just pretending for
Yeah.
in public for people. And so, they kind of make that joke. They're like, he doesn't like kids. He's mean to dogs. He doesn't like old people. That's the thing. So if you're a big Tin Cup fan, anybody, if you haven't seen it, go see Tin Cup. But that's the thing. And so I started doing some investigating over the last couple of days into Josh's life, just being like, man, there's no way that he's really that nice. I think that there's probably some skeletons in the closet. And so in my investigation, I came up with 10 reasons why Josh isn't that nice of a guy. You want to hear them?
Isn't so nice. I would love to hear him.
Yeah, 10 reasons. So number 10, he uses the speakerphone in public for every single call. He's that dude that's like walking around in public and he answers his phone on speakerphone. And so he's talking like this in front of everybody. Like, I mean, well, if you're a nice guy, you wouldn't do that, would you?
No, you wouldn't.
No. And then I had to talk to Brittany to get this one. She helped me out. All right. He puts a toilet paper roll on backwards, like every time. Yeah, it's not that hard, Josh. Like, seriously, it's over, not under. Yeah. So, at his house, I was talking to his boys, and Mason hates it. He's like, everybody loves some leftover pizza. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you had it for dinner, and then the next morning, you're going to go and have it in the boxes there. The boys always the next morning go to like pop that box open, empty. In the middle of the night, Josh sneaks the last piece of pizza.
What a jerk.
Yeah. It's like,
I have been dead wrong about him.
Yeah. And then very similar, same vein, open the refrigerator door, milk, just like you go to pour a bowl of cereal, you got to go grab just like a millimeter of milk left in the bottom of the carton, and that's always Josh. He just like leaves just, it's like, just finish it, dude. Throw it away. Like, let somebody know.
Just make the hand basket right now, because I know where he's going.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. So this one's the one that's a little, I don't know if you've experienced this. I know that I've gotten them from him, but he invites everybody he knows to like a special investment opportunity, and then you find out it's really just one of those pyramid schemes. Like he's selling like Advocare or Mary Kay. I fell for that
4 times with him now.
Yeah. Like it's just kind of creepy. It's like, stop it. Yeah.
Josh,
it's like, figure out a different way to pay for your truck. I don't know. Yeah. And it's like, and we'll see this in the group chat sometimes. He'll jump on there and he'll just be like, hey guys. And then just like radio silent. Like I
noticed that.
Yeah. Huh. So I don't think that's cool. So that's, no. I mean, I wouldn't call a guy nice if he did that.
No, that would be not nice.
Yeah, and then like a rude thing, he's always wearing sunglasses indoors at everything he goes to. It's just like it's kind of like that superstar thing. It's like, I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way.
When you can get away with it and you do it, I mean, why do it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what we're saying here, Josh.
Yeah, it's like he's not Beyonce. Like, what are you doing?
No.
Yeah. So, and then, so this just happened the other night. We went to the FC Cincinnati game. Like Keith invited us, and Josh forgot his wallet again. So who's picking up beers? Who's buying? It's like, oh, the old, grab it. Oh shoot, guys. And he drove too. Pocket. Like that's the weird thing. It's like, what are you doing with no driver's license? It's just weird.
Yeah.
That's not cool. So, he's been given a lot of fantasy football advice, and he insists, he's like, hey, I'm just being honest. And then like whatever he says, it's rude, and then it's also bad advice. So like, I think the reason Brian didn't start Najee Harris is because Josh told him, he's like,
I did.
Yeah, it's like Mason's a better start.
I've drafted him before.
Yeah,
week 8, he never does well week 8.
Yeah. So then it's just like,
and when he says it like that, you believe him because he's Josh.
Yeah.
Man, what a jerk.
Yeah, and then if you ever go on a road trip with him, dude, he's the first person. Like, I mean, it comes out of his mouth so fast. He's always calling shotgun. He's like 5'8", dude. Why has he got to sit up front? It's like there's tall people back there.
Plenty of room for us in the back.
he's got Lee back there sitting in the back and Josh yelling shotgun. So I don't know. I'm just saying maybe he's not so nice. And
I need to share these. I hope you wrote those down. You can send them to me because I don't know about your wife, but every now and then Michelle will be like, "Hey, is Josh still married?" I'm like, "Yes, he's still married." And then
well,
she's like, "Well, does he want a second wife?" And I'm, "No, he doesn't want a
oh,
second." I mean, I get that all the time, and I'm sick of it.
no,
I'm going to share these.
Katie, it's not that. I mean, not to that extent.
Okay.
Katie's just more. Why can't you be more like Josh?
Why can't? Yeah. Well, I get
Yeah.
that. It's not just Josh.
Yeah.
So interesting.
So that's
Okay.
my matchup. I hope I take Josh down this week simply
what?
because he's not really that nice a guy, and so I think that would help.
I have a matchup too.
Oh, who are you playing?
Yeah, I'm playing Lee.
Oh, okay.
You know, and in the spirit of what you did, you kind of told me. Well, word on the street is wrong. People think that Lee is like big strong guy.
Oh yeah.
He is not. And I got 10 reasons.
It's all for show?
10 reasons why Lee is not so strong.
Okay.
We're 10. The name Pearson is of English origin, meaning cream puff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No, you didn't.
Is it like German or something?
Yeah. Number 9, Planet Fitness. Huh. More like plan to fit this whole chicken in my mouth.
Oh, yeah. How can you be strong when all you do is eat fried chicken?
No doubt. Number 8 is the paper bag company called and said there's no record of Lee whipping his way out of any of their products, even when they're wet.
I did not know that.
You didn't?
Yeah, this whole time I've thought that he was like pretty manly, but yeah, that makes sense now that you say it.
So number 7, Hans and Franz would consider Lee a girly man, and they wouldn't be wrong.
Oh, he's a girly man.
He is.
You like that?
He is that. All right, number 6, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Arnold, Stallone, all people that sometimes I get confused for, but Lee never does.
Oh, Rennie will appreciate that.
Number 5. I don't know if these are getting better or worse, but number 5, Lee would love to watch action movies with big tough guys, but he gets wore out lifting the remote.
Oh.
It's like,
it does get heavy though sometimes.
Some of them, big batteries.
Batteries. Did you take out an insurance policy before you wrote these?
Words cannot express how bad of an idea this is, which is why I allude to it on the podcast. So it's nice knowing you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Hopefully Lee doesn't ever watch this. Number 4 is Lee loves having kids around because they are strong enough to open lids for him.
Oh, like the peanut butter. Yeah, I get it.
They just see him in there.
Jar. Yeah, it's like can't get it open.
Yeah, and then a kid comes in, it's like, right off.
Yeah. You know what's tough to get open is those Gatorade bottles. I don't know if you've ever had. Yeah, they're kind of.
Sometimes.
Yeah, that's just
3 more. Leg day for Lee just means he doesn't eat the whole chicken.
Oh, he just
just eating legs.
Yeah.
2 more.
I got you.
2 more painful. Lee is not so strong. Here's another reason. The only boats that Lee can carry are the ones that they put in those little bottles.
Boat in a bottle?
Ship in a. See what I mean? Okay. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
And last one.
Did you hold on? Did you save the best for last?
I think so.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
I think so. It alludes to something that we always talk about with Lee. 2 nuns and a priest walk into a bar. Lee was there, and they kicked his ass.
Dave.
So it's been nice knowing you. But did you know Lee was weak? He actually, I thought.
Yeah.
But those are 10 reasons. They're good reasons.
10 reasons why he's not so strong. I get it. Yeah. So, well, good luck to both of us this week as we take on some pretty fierce opponents. But
yeah, I think I would have rather been in your position because the most that Josh is going to be is put out. But
yeah, he's going to be upset.
Might put my arms out of my sockets.
Yeah. Josh is going to come on the chat tomorrow and say how disappointed he is in me.
Yes. And Lee is going to remove limbs. So
hey, what I wish we could film like a like This Is Sports Center spot. You remember the one with Evander Holyfield where Marv Levy says he goes somebody's asking, he goes, I heard Marv Levy said that you're not the best boxer. And he said, in the world? And he goes, no, in Georgia. And then Evander's like walking all over the Sports Center office, and he's like, hey, come out. Come out and get your whooping. And it might not be Marv. I can't remember who it is. It's because he says the name. It'll come to me. But
those are pretty
he's
good.
like, yeah, he's like, come on out and get your whooping. So that's going to be Lee. Lee's going to like, I wish we could film a commercial where like you're hiding in like the podcast office and Lee's coming out and saying, Miller, come out and get your whooping. So
yeah, so this week, a lot of shaking up is going to happen. I think we have, if I look at it right, there's only one matchup between 4 and 4 teams.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Even though there's so many. Happen? You and Ratty are the only 4. All the rest of them, things could really, I mean, because the most you guys will flip flop is one game, 5-4, 4-5, or 5-4, 4-5, something like that. But like, Lee, like for my matchup, hey, I'm 4-4 right in the middle, 5th. I could drop. Lee's gonna be low if he loses. Then you got, Andy, who's, man, his team is better than 3 and 5.
Yeah.
He got a lot of those points early, maybe, but now he's scored quite a bit the last few weeks. He just took a loss against somebody with a high score last week. So,
and here would be the question, Dave. It's like all 4 teams in the bottom, Brennan, Lee, Rennie, Andy, like all 4 of them are still in this.
Oh yeah,
by a long shot. Like,
and 2 of them, Andy and Adam, have been playing they've been scoring above 100 consistently the last 3 weeks. So 3 to 4 weeks. So like it's just been.
Well, and it's like if you were to ask me, I mean, we did the power rankings, we sent it out. I mean, Lee makes it's crazy how fast Lee's dropped to the bottom. That's one thing. But losing 4 in a row will do that to you. But like I just wouldn't say that Andy and Rennie are, when this is all said and done, there's no way that both Andy and Rennie are not going to be in the playoffs. One of them is going to be in there.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I don't know if I could look at it right now and tell you that I could just name the 4. Because sometimes we're in it and we're just like, oh, those 4 teams are just out of it. You know what I mean? Everybody is making separation, and but like right now, I just couldn't be like, oh, these 4 teams are out. Yeah. I mean, you can say Brennan just because he's got the worst record and he's got the lowest amount of points, but
he's coming off a win.
Yeah, he's one win away from being right back in the thick of things.
Yeah, I mean, we've had years by now where there's a team that's 1-7, and it's like,
yeah, good luck climbing out of that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there was.
I think with our rankings, 2
years ago, I had 0 wins this far in the season.
Exactly. We still are having trouble giving Ed much love, even though he's got more wins, because we must have both put him lower because he dropped to 4 in the power rankings. We got Brian and Ratty above him.
I just don't. I mean, it's a trust factor thing.
Yeah.
And he hasn't scored. I mean, if he was scoring tons and tons of points, I think it would be different too. It's like, some of his wins feel a little cheaper just because he would get a win with like 8, less than 90 points. But, I give Ed major credit for sticking around this long. And if he sticks around for a few more weeks, like he's going to be, I mean.
Yeah.
So
I was almost ready to put Adam above me just because of the way he's been playing the last 3 weeks. But I'm like, man, that the 1 win difference, right? Is he still at 3 or no? He's right with. Oh, it's the points. Like the point. He's still.
Yeah, he's still low on points because the first 4 weeks of the season he just wasn't scoring anything.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm only 30 points above him, so I could have flip flopped him easy, and maybe I just wanted to be above him for 1 more week. That's all.
So, well, let's jump into the scoreboard. We've got a big matchup. I mean, Brian desperately needs a win, sitting at 4-4, but he's got to play Travis to get it.
Yeah,
but if you're going to play Travis, this would be a week to play him, only because he doesn't get his San Francisco defense, and he's got some, he is it's funny, let's say he's going to have a projected score of like 105 or 106, but like that seems good for him. I don't know. It's like
I
it's
mean,
crazy.
he's above 100. He doesn't have a defense in there. Surely he's
Yeah.
going to pick up a defense that's at least projected to get 7.
Yeah.
So he's at
So
107 for
why did
sure.
Brian put Najee in now? And is he on bye this week?
He probably had already done it. Sometimes you can go ahead in the
Oh
weeks
yeah.
ahead and you can move people, or set lineups for other weeks in case you're, I don't know, kind of in case something happens. But yeah, I don't know.
Najee's
But
not
yeah,
playing this week.
yeah, he's got himself in because of this trade, and with Mason being like he didn't think ahead, or he was just thinking for the moment, or he was like, oh, I got 4 good running backs, but he traded the one that he's going to play against the
Yeah.
next week, and it doesn't have another running back to put in for it. It's like, dang, so he's got to
So
pick up a wide receiver. Well, he can play Coleman. He's got to pick up a running back, and he'll probably drop. Well, he can't drop Jennings without dropping somebody else because they're on. So he's going to have to drop probably Trevor Lawrence.
yeah. So who's in second place in our league right now?
Second, that would be Ed, right?
Is Ed still in second place?
Yeah, yep, because he's got 5 wins. Everybody else has 4 and 3.
All right, so he takes on Brennan. So this would be a big matchup between Ed and Brennan.
Yeah, and so you
Because
would think, if you're Brennan, you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole, but if you have to play somebody that's in the top 4, there's
I will say
there's
this,
there's worse people to play just because of
but Ed's got a lot of work to do.
yeah, he
So
does.
here's the big question: will Ed go on and replace his quarterback and wide receiver?
Yeah.
So this
If he
is the
does
make or
one, he'll
break.
do the other. But
Yeah. He'll, but this make or break for him, and it's like, I mean, for Brennan, might be a chance to dig himself out of this hole.
well, and he'll probably make a move because with the whole, with the trade, I mean, right now Bateman is projected to get 2.8, which, one big pass and he beats that. But I could see him going on if he really is paying attention. He'll have to pick up a different wide receiver. He's got 2 wide receivers that are on IR now, so you can only really hold one of them for very
Ed,
long.
if you're watching this, fix your lineup. Then it's the Smithereens versus Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah, and look at that, man. You both are like projected to have good weeks. You both have pretty strong lineups.
Where did all those points come from?
Yeah, boy, you were struggling like a few weeks ago. It's like you couldn't even get yourself to 89, 90 projected. Now you might have scored better than that, but the projection was like, because you just didn't have it. But I still, I mean, I don't like my position of having to pick between 2. You got 3 quarterbacks that could get 25 to 30, but only one of them probably will.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. I know Dallas has been a train wreck, and Cousins is coming off a huge game. He's projected to get 24, but I'm like,
I know. Did they do it 2 weeks in a row? That's the thing.
And I'm like, Darnold's going up against Indy. I would think that would be,
especially with Indy maybe having a better chance to keep up with Flacco over Richardson. So they're probably gonna, it might be
a shootout,
more scoring.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. And honestly, like even Caleb Williams, it's like, man, he could do anything. But Arizona's got a decent defense, and so it's tough. And then I'm torn between, I didn't play Cheney last week. I should have. Brian Robinson Jr. has played well. He's questionable going into this game, but he plays against the Giants, where
I think he's been questionable for 5 weeks in a row.
Yeah. But Cheney plays against Buffalo. Buffalo's got a better you know what I mean? There's just a bunch of things.
Oh yeah, you have legitimate choices at running back that are tough. I don't really have that.
Well, and it's only this week because I don't have anybody on bye. You know what I mean? Like that make it honestly, sometimes when you got players on bye, it makes it easier because you're just like, oh, Robinson's on bye, put a Chaney in, and you just live with it, right? It's like,
were you worried at all that Dalvin Cook was going to muck up Rico Dowdle's time moving forward?
No, because I don't really have to play Dowdle. I mean,
That's
like
true.
he's just a now.
You played him earlier in the season when you didn't have any.
But because I mean, the big reason for that was because
Chain.
a Chain was playing for a team that didn't have a quarterback, so they weren't scoring any points. And then, and at the time, Dowdle was the number one option at running back for Dallas. I mean, he was getting the bulk of the carries. And I think Robinson missed a week, or Mixon missed a week. So like I was left with very few options.
What do you think of having 3 spots going tomorrow night?
I don't love it. I don't like those Thursday games. Now, if they score well, then it becomes great. I'll tell you what, I don't necessarily love this thing that I've got 3 Houston players. Now it's better than like when I had 3 Jacksonville players.
Yeah.
But it's worked so far.
Yeah. And things are at least potentially looking up for Tank.
Yeah, by
attrition.
I'd say the weak spot there has been Tank Dell. I haven't played him every single week. He's definitely kind of like the outlier there, where it's like sometimes he can do great and sometimes he's not living up to the hype of his last year, where he was just like seemed like he was catching 60-yard balls. You know what I mean? Every week.
I don't think they're doing that. They're not airing it out like they did. I don't. Yeah. Maybe because they have Mixon and they don't have to. I don't know.
Yeah, but Mixon's been solid. Fairbairn's been solid. So it's like you really can't, And then it's like I've been so weak at wide receiver because of injuries. Having Puka back is a big plus for me. So
yeah, he looked good.
Yeah, I should have played him last week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I mean, smart. You didn't know. I mean,
yeah. So
and we haven't talked about
you
well,
versus.
I was gonna go to Junior and Rennie.
Okay.
Just because 8th and 10th, it's like, nobody's out of it if they lose, but boy, it sure is gonna be helpful if you win when you're 8 and 10, 8th place and 10th place.
And you know that it's personal.
Yeah. Do you like my my anticipatory name change ideas?
Yeah. Yeah. So has he changed it? Oh no, it's still off-wall coaching. Not yet. So, but he hasn't changed it.
Something to do with in the past it's been something to do with tanning and CrossFit, but it could also be something to do with waiting for the condo now. We got other things that Rennie it does. So, and maybe he knows things about Rennie I don't. He probably does, and he could pull something out of there. So
yeah. Rennie's still hurting from missing Nico. I mean, how do you go from having the number 1 wide receiver to then he's just gone? So that stings. And since Nico's been out, that is coincided with his losing streak. So
he could really use a 30+ point Burrow effort.
Yes, that get back. I asked you if you against Vegas, man, they better put up points because I don't know. So and the Jets, you never know what's going to happen with them. But
yeah, Brees looks good, but they implode sometimes. They're off as a team.
Yeah. So and Junior's got some work to do in his lineup, and so. Rennie's got to feel good. Rennie's got the advantage at quarterback. He's got the advantage at running back. He does not have the advantage at wide receiver, but he's got the advantage at special teams just because Junior's got to find people and plug them in. So, I think that this could be a.
Well, and he has the advantage of, I don't know if you know this, but Junior's dumb.
Yeah, that is true too. Yep.
So that helps.
Yeah. I mean, you would have much rather been facing Junior and had to come up with a top 10 list for Junior, wouldn't you? It'd have been easier.
I would have used both sides of the paper.
Yeah, exactly. So, what about this matchup between Adam and Andy? What do you think both of them in desperate need of a win, only because Adam wants to keep this momentum he's going because of his low points. a loss is going to knock him down. And Andy, with his high points, if he gets another win, a
Yeah.
win, jumps him up. So it's,
Yeah. And normally Mahomes versus Allen, it's like, oh yeah, here we go. But Allen's been scoring more.
yeah,
Mahomes has been winning more. He's just doing what he needs to do to win a real game and not
yeah.
a fantasy game.
And once Andy picks up a tight end, this is going to be a very even matchup.
Oh yeah, it'll be a little more. Yeah, I think he's only got he'll pick up somebody. And boy, tight end day.
Yeah.
If all the people that were like, oh, the NFL's scripted, like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Well, boy, it sure seemed like it. Like tight end day and like 10 guys get double digits.
Well, and like here it is. I have to, Lee, I know that you've been picked on this podcast and that Dave made fun of you for being weak. We have been hammering. We've been hammering you about the Mark Andrews pick.
Oh yeah.
And so now, like, we could get to the end of the season, Andrews could be a top 4 tight end, and we could be like, oh, what did it matter? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's right back. I mean, he's fine. Like, there's no making fun of Mark Andrews right now.
Now he's had back-to-back weeks of double-digit scoring. Is that right? Something like that?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the good news for what you were getting at, the good news for Andy is seems like there's a lot of tight ends.
I mean, don't you feel like that you can go to kickers, defense, tight end every week when you list out like who is the top scorers? It's like, I mean, even wide receivers we've seen. So it's like there are people that you can pick up. Now, picking the right one, that's a totally different thing. But there's people on the waivers that you can pick up and plug in.
I mean, I'm not going to mention names because they're all right there, but there's 5 guys that are 5-point projections or above. So, which tight end, it's like,
yeah, and which puts Andy right there.
Yeah. If he picks any of these, now he might get cute and go lower, like right now Conklin's only like 3.6, but he scored 2 weeks in a row. So he could, if you dig deeper, you could even probably find a gem. Likely's way down there, but he's had big games. So yeah, I mean, the points are out there. There'll be somebody in this list right now, this free agent tight end list, that gets 10 or more points. You just don't know who it is.
So then it's you versus Lee. Lee's got some work to do on his lineup. But how in the world did you get to 110 projection?
Well,
is that sorcery?
It's smoke and mirrors.
Okay.
There's yeah, I don't know. I
mean, you only have 3 people projected to get double digits, and somehow you're at 110.
Well, 27 quarterback points. That's more than what Allen is projected. That's given Jaden Daniels with a Q next to his name a lot of love. Like, I don't. I'll be happy with 24.
Do you have a fear that it's projected at 27 and that he gets 7, and then that Love ends up with like 40?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's been the story of Right now, I'm like, what I have right now, I don't. When you have wide receivers that are all about the same, like, yeah, I'm glad that Tua's back, but Waddle didn't do much, and I'm kind of intrigued. I don't know if I'll stick with this, but right now I got Johnson playing he got traded to Baltimore, which is a big upgrade from quarterback play, or at least overall offense in general.
We haven't talked about it much, and maybe we can talk about it next week a little bit. But these in-season trades, because the trade deadline's coming up.
Because the Bengals they've been active.
No, but there are major. Did you hear who the Bengals were connected to?
No.
Like Chase Young.
Oh wow. Okay.
Is he D-end? Is that
put somebody kind of opposite Henderson, so they both can have a chance to get to the quarterback?
Yeah.
I mean, it's something. Do something.
I don't know who you'd have to give up. And here's a question. Like, if at this point in the season you knew that you weren't going to sign Higgins next year, would you trade him for something?
And I think that's the conversation that they're having. If it's inevitable that he's gone, It's like, and you see all these teams getting better.
And you're mediocre. I mean, it'd be different if we were, what are we? If we were 8-2, or what? How many weeks are we in? 8. We're going into week 9.
Yeah.
So if you were 6-2, 7-1, you'd be like, oh yeah, like screw it. We're going all in, right? Like we're not trading anybody. We'll just, if we lose him, we lose him. We're going to the Super Bowl. And I'm not saying that that's completely out of the picture, but when you sit there at the bottom of the AFC North, and you're 3-5, you got to think about those things. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, no, I haven't really seen any names attached to the Bengals because they haven't. It just doesn't seem like they ever do anything.
but it is interesting. Like when Higgins is not on the field, the difference in their offense is
Yeah.
very noticeable.
Yeah, like Iosivas started off strong the first couple weeks, then he disappears. Maybe he's just not in, running routes. I don't
Well,
know.
and they played a great first quarter, and then just didn't ever get anything going.
And then why, like, you got other rookies around the league that jump in and contribute, and this Burton kid plays a handful of snaps and that's about it. I don't get it. Like,
yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. So, well, that's our weekly matchups. We've got a big week coming, like Dave said. A lot of
it's gonna be,
shuffling
yeah, I
of
can't
the. I
even
mean,
do the
my
math to
favorite.
be like, okay, where will, like, I know where Travis will be
Yeah,
because nobody can catch him, but boy, a lot of things could mix up anywhere from 2 to
yeah. I'll be
to
honest
12.
with you. My favorite time is first thing Tuesday morning, so I can pull up the standings because the math is so hard.
Yeah,
I can't figure
like
it
where are
all
you going to
out.
end up? Because then you have to look and see what he scored, and and then yeah,
Yeah,
it's easier just to wait and be like, oh, what do you
yeah.
know? I'm in fifth. Okay,
So
woohoo.
I meant to say this. We're getting long in the podcast, but I wanted to say this is kind of my take. This is what I just think for this season. It's not every season, but for this season, this is a mandate out there for all the teams. Score as many points as you possibly can. And I know that seems so. We're going to have a tie for 8th place.
Yeah, they'll
6,
be
7, 8, 9, 10, could be go as deep as 11.
same records.
We're going to have a tie for about 4 teams in a chunk there, and it's going to come down to point difference, like points
Yeah,
scored. And so, dude, you better hope that you're on the high end of points scored. I mean, I feel like that everybody, and I know this sounds so simple, but it's like you need to be trying to average 100 points a week,
yeah,
or else you're going to find yourself on the outside. You know what I mean? You just don't want to be the lowest scoring team with a 500 record, or whatever it is at the end of the season, because like you're gonna have the same record as the team that's in 6th place, and you're gonna be like,
yeah.
I'm not going to the playoffs, and it's all because I didn't score enough points.
You might be
It,
like, you get a couple cheap wins. You're like, I got a couple cheap wins, and somebody else gets 2 strong wins. As soon as you lose, you're dropping.
yeah, yeah. And I know that you can't control all that, but it's just like that's going to be the difference this year. It's going to
Yeah,
be a tie because everybody's so log jammed in. It's not going to be, in the years past. It's been last year. I think it was the 4 teams outside the playoffs. It was decided before the last week, even.
yeah, or
I
at
mean, there
least
was
2 of them, I think.
yeah, there was no
So
movement. That
yeah,
was going to happen there, and there was separation. There's going to be no separation. You better hope that you're scoring a lot of points each week, even if you lose. Like it's fine. You
yeah,
can lose a week. Hover around 500 and score as many. Hope you get a lot of points. Get it close to as 100 points as you can, because it's going to make all the difference in the end when we
yeah,
come to the end of this thing. I mean, I think we're only this week and then 2 more weeks, and then we're back to playing the 3 teams we played at the beginning of the season.
yeah,
That's crazy, isn't it?
yeah. Wow.
So,
So yeah, so it's, but yeah, because it's week 14, 15, or or 15, 16, 17 now. We have 14 full weeks.
Yeah, so right now we're playing week 9. And then we'll play week 10 and 11.
Okay. And then
And
12,
then
13,
12,
14.
13, 14 is back to playing the teams we played at the beginning of the
those
season.
were my worst 3. The first 2 weeks were definitely my worst weeks.
and for me personally, just as a reminder, I don't know if anybody's keeping score at home, but I'll play Rennie, Travis, and Adam the last 3 weeks of the season.
Which right now you're thinking, Rennie, okay, he's below me, that's fine, but Adam's rising and Travis is already risen.
Yeah. You think Travis by week 13 will be just like benching his team and just
he'll
like,
sit some players to rest them.
Yeah, okay. Rest them.
Give you a win.
That's good.
Knowing
Yeah,
him,
yeah,
how great of a guy he is.
yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah. So, hey,
happy trick or treating tomorrow, everybody. Junior, don't get arrested.
Make sure your costumes have something to do with waiters and, and ponchos.
And hey, both Dave and I apologize. I know that you guys had kind of built up Josh and Lee in your mind, like, hey, strong guy, super nice guy. We hate to be the ones that like bring
we
the
did
truth.
The research. I mean, we're just all we do. We don't try to, we don't try to influence. We just try to inform.
Yeah, just try to. I mean, when you go to the polls, you just need to be informed. And we wanted to bring you the truth about who Lee is and who Josh is so that you can make your own decision.
I got on my portion of the team or work team meeting and I reminded everybody that they can stay clocked in, to go and vote for like up to 2 hours or something. I said, as long as they vote for the right person.
Oh, that's,
that goes without saying, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
How do you spell Kamala again? K. Okay.
Brennan will jump in and tell you. He'll let you know.
Yeah, I bet he will.
All right. Hey, you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Good luck to everybody. And
by this time next week, we'll know who the next president's going to be.
We will. Crazy. Yeah. That's going to be a fun episode. All right. You guys, hey, like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you next week.